They knocked 7 times. Slow, heavy, like they knew I was frozen in the dark, just inches from the door. I didn't answer. I couldn't, because my brother, who had died 2 weeks earlier, was the one doing the knocking. I never believed in ghosts, not even as a kid. Horror movies bored me. Haunted house stories made me laugh. And I always thought people who claimed to see spirits just needed attention. That was before my brother died. That was before he came back. His name was Daniel, 3 years younger than me, full of energy, always the loudest voice in the room. He was my best friend. We did everything together, growing up, climbed trees, stayed up late playing video games, and cover for each other when we got into trouble. But all of that changed on March 2nd. He was driving home from work. Wet roads, a speeding truck. They said it was over instantly. His car was crushed. I saw the wreck myself. Twisted metal, shattered glass, blood on the seat. The funeral was a blur. Closed casket. My mom collapsed when she saw his shoes poking out beneath the white silk sheet. I stood there like a statue, feeling nothing, until they lowered him into the ground. That's when it hit me. He was really gone. I started hearing the knocks 5 days later. It was late, around 2 a.m. I was in my apartment, alone, watching TV with the volume low. I heard 3 knocks at the front door. Not loud, but solid, like someone using their fist. I paused the show and waited. No one knocked again. I got up, checked the peephole, no one. I figured it was someone hitting the wrong apartment and went back to the couch. The next night, same time, 3 knocks again. This time, I opened the door right away. No one. The hallway was empty. I looked left, then right, and even walked down to the elevator. Nothing. That's when I started to feel it, like I was being watched. It got worse. The 3rd night, the knocks came again, but there were 5. I didn't move. I sat there on the couch, holding my breath. My eyes were locked on the door. My hand trembled when I reached for my phone. But before I could dial anyone, my bedroom light flicked on by itself. I hadn't even been in there. That's when I started sleeping with the lights on. I told myself it was stress, grief, maybe even a prank. But by the 7th night, I knew something was seriously wrong. I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. It was silent, not a single sound. Then I heard it. 7 knocks. Not fast, not rushed. Each one came with a few seconds in between. I counted them out loud, whispering. When the last one hit, I swear the temperature in the room dropped. I could see my breath float up into the air. That's not normal. My heat was on. Then I heard it. A voice. Just one word, whispered right outside the door. Chris. My name. That's when I lost it. I didn't care if it was a prank or some ghost. I grabbed a baseball bat and flung the door open, screaming. No one, but something was on the floor. A photo. It was a picture of me and Daniel, us as kids, sitting on the swings in our old backyard. The photo was torn down the middle. My half was fine. His half burned. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. The next day, I called my mom. I didn't tell her everything. Just said I was having a hard time dealing with Daniel's death. She told me something that made my stomach turn. She said, "That's strange. I've been hearing knocking too, always at night, and I could swear I saw his shadow walk past my hallway yesterday." I asked her to stay with me for a while, and she agreed. I thought it would help. It didn't. The first night she stayed, we both heard it. 7 knocks. Then silence. My mom froze. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. I grabbed her hand and whispered, "Did you hear that?" She nodded. The next day she went back home. She didn't say why. That's when I called a priest. I was desperate. I didn't care if I sounded crazy. He came, blessed the apartment, and told me to pray. That night, the knocking stopped. For 3 nights, it was quiet. Then on the 4th, it returned. But this time, the knocking came from inside. It was past midnight. I was in bed, lights off. The air was still. I had just started drifting off when I heard it, 7 knocks on the closet door. I sat up, heart pounding. The door creaked open. I didn't move. I couldn't. I just stared into the darkness of the closet. Then I saw him, Daniel. He stepped out, wearing the same hoodie he died in. His face was pale, eyes sunken, but it was him. His voice was raspy when he spoke. "I'm not supposed to be here." I couldn't speak. My throat was locked. My chest felt tight. "I was taken," he said. "It wasn't my time, but now they won't let me leave." He looked behind him toward the open closet. "They're coming, and they're not just here for me anymore." He turned to me, and for a moment he looked like my brother again. Alive, sad. "You opened the door, Chris. You let them in." The lights exploded, literally popped, and everything went black. When I woke up, it was morning. My bedroom door was open. My closet was empty. I tried to tell myself it was a dream, but the handprint on the wall wasn't mine. And the photo on my dresser, the one of Daniel and me, it was whole again, except this time, my half was the one burned. I haven't slept properly in days. I tried leaving town, stayed at a friend's place across the city. It followed me. The knocks came again, this time at the window. I live on the 12th floor. I don't know what I let in. I don't know if Daniel was warning me or if he's part of it now. But every night at exactly 2 a.m., it starts again. The same slow, heavy knocks. And tonight, I heard a new voice join his. It whispered something that made my blood run cold. It said, "One more night. I don't know what happens after that, but I don't think I'll survive to find out." I didn't go to work the next day. I couldn't. I sat in my apartment, lights on, TV running just to drown out the silence. I kept staring at the door like something was going to burst through it at any moment. Every time the pipes creaked or the fridge buzzed, I jumped. I must have checked the clock 100 times that day. Each hour crawled slower than the last. By 11 p.m., I was pacing. I knew it would come. I could feel it, that thick pressure in the air, like the room was shrinking. My hands were shaking, but I wasn't cold. I was sweating. Breathing felt like dragging glass through my lungs. At 1:55 a.m., the apartment went dead silent. No hum from the fridge, no cars outside, not even the wind. I sat on the edge of the couch, eyes locked on the door, my ears strained for anything. Then it began. 7 knocks, each one heavier than the last. The walls seemed to vibrate with each thud. I didn't answer. I didn't even move. And just like before, the whisper came, "Chris." But it wasn't just Daniel this time. There was another voice, low, broken, like it was struggling to form the word. "Joanna?" My mouth went dry. Then something new happened. The lights didn't go out this time. They flickered. All of them. Every bulb in the apartment pulsed like a heartbeat. On off, on off. Then came a smell. Rotten meat. Like a dead animal left in the sun. I gagged. It filled the room, thick and sharp. I tried to open the window, but it was stuck. Not locked, stuck. Like the air itself was holding it shut. The knocks came again, but not from the front door. From inside the walls. All around me, like something was trapped between the sheetrock, pounding to get out. I backed up into the kitchen, grabbing the biggest knife I could find. My hands were slick with sweat. I don't even know what I thought I was going to do with it. You can't stab a ghost, but fear makes you stupid. Then came the whisper again, closer this time, right behind me. Time's up. I spun around, swinging the knife. Nothing. The lights died. Total darkness. I pressed my back against the fridge. My breathing was ragged. Every muscle in my body screamed to run, but I couldn't see a thing. Then, across the room, the hallway light flicked on, just barely. There was a shadow standing there, tall, too tall. Its head almost touched the ceiling. Its arms were long, fingers dragging along the floor. It had no face, just smooth skin where the eyes and mouth should be. It pointed at me. That's when I heard Daniel again, screaming from the hallway. Don't look at it. Too late. Its head snapped toward me. Not turned, snapped. Like a twitch. Fast. Unnatural. I blinked and it was gone. But now it was in front of me. I don't remember much after that. Just the sound of my own scream. And a coldness so deep, it felt like my blood froze in my veins. I woke up on the kitchen floor, knife still in my hand. It was morning. The lights were back. Everything looked normal. But I wasn't. My reflection in the microwave wasn't right. My face was pale, lips cracked. My eyes, one of them looked slightly off, like it wasn't aligned with the other. I moved my head slowly. It followed, but with a delay, like something inside me was still catching up. That's when I decided to see a therapist. Maybe I'd finally snapped. Maybe none of this was real. The therapist listened, took notes, asked about stress, grief medications. Then she leaned forward and said, "Have you experienced any gaps in memory? Waking up in places you don't remember falling asleep?" I nodded slowly. She looked concerned. "And any voices, particularly ones belonging to someone you've lost?" My heart stopped. I hadn't told her about Daniel. I asked her how she knew. She smiled and said, "You're not the only one they've chosen." That was the last time I saw her. When I went back the next week, the office was empty. Not closed, empty. Furniture gone. Nameplate removed. No forwarding address. Nothing. That night, the knocking came again. But now it was different. Faster. Urgent. 10 knocks. Each one louder than the last. I opened the door, and there, standing in the hallway, was a woman. She looked exhausted. Pale skin, red eyes like she hadn't slept in weeks. She whispered, "They took my son. I think they're trying to take you too." Before I could speak, she shoved a folded piece of paper into my hand and ran off down the stairs. I called after her, but she was gone. I closed the door and unfolded the note. It was a hand-drawn map. A symbol I didn't recognize was scratched in the corner, drawn in what looked like dried blood, and a message. "They follow the broken, the ones who hear the knock. Go here before the last night. It's the only way to stop them." There was an address scribbled at the bottom. A cabin out in the woods, 2 hours north. I went the next day. I didn't tell anyone. I packed a bag, took the knife, and drove. My phone lost signal about 30 minutes before I got there. The cabin was old, boarded windows, moss-covered roof. The door was unlocked. Inside, I found candles, dozens of them, burned down to stubs, symbols painted on the walls. A chair in the center of the room, surrounded by a ring of salt. I waited. As the sun dipped below the trees, the air grew thick, the way it always did before the knocking started. Then I heard it, but not at the door. Beneath my feet, the floorboards rattled. Dust rose up around the salt ring. I sat in a chair, held the knife tight, eyes shut. The ground below groaned. Then a split, a black, charred hand reached up to the crack, clawing at the air. Another hand followed. Then a face, smooth, faceless, the same creature from my apartment. But this time, there were more. Hands, faces, climbing from the floor, from the walls, crawling toward the salt circle. They hissed, shrieked, One whispered Daniel's name. I screamed his name back. Then I don't know what made me do it. I slashed my hand with the knife and let the blood drip onto the salt. The circle lit up, a blinding white glow. The creatures shrieked and recoiled. Then silence. I woke up hours later. The floor was whole. The salt was gone. The knife was rusted. I haven't heard the knock since. But the woman who gave me the map, she's missing. I saw her picture on a flyer near a gas station on the way back. Her son was never found. And last night, as I sat on my bed, I noticed something. A crack in the wall. Small. Barely there. But it's growing. And this morning, I found a photo on my floor. It's of me, alone. And on the back, written in red ink, are 3 words. One night left. I stared at the photo for what felt like hours. The ink on the back looked fresh. Still wet. One night left. I didn't sleep. Couldn't. I sat with my back against the wall, holding the old, rusted knife. My phone wouldn't turn on. I tried the light switches. Nothing. No electricity. Even the candles I brought from the cabin wouldn't stay lit. They'd spark, flicker, then go out like something was sucking the flame away. I kept thinking about the crack in the wall. When I first saw it, it was just a thin line, barely the width of a hair. Now it stretched across nearly the entire corner of the bedroom, like a vein pulsing beneath the paint. By morning, I knew I had to leave. I couldn't stay in that apartment. Whatever I'd stopped at the cabin, it hadn't gone away. It had just paused. Maybe the ritual delayed them. But now they were coming back. And this time I didn't think I could stop them. I packed a small bag, grabbed what cash I had left, and left the apartment without looking back. I didn't lock the door. Didn't even close it all the way. I had the sinking feeling that nothing I did would matter. I drove west. No GPS. No music. Just the sound of the road and my thoughts eating away at me. I passed a dead deer on the side of the highway. Its eyes wide open, mouth gaping like it had seen something right before the end. A shiver ran down my spine. Something about it felt staged, like it had been put there for me. By nightfall, I found a rundown roadside motel with a broken neon sign and a single light flickering at the front desk window. I paid cash. The clerk didn't even look at me, just handed me the key and waved me off. Room 9. The room smelled like old smoke and mold. I didn't care. I pushed the bed against the door, wedged a chair beneath the knob, and curled up in the corner with the knife under my pillow. I set up the mirror from the bathroom to face the door. If something came in, I wanted to see it first. I tried to stay awake, told myself I'd just rest my eyes for a minute. I must have dozed off, because when I opened them again, the clock said 2 a.m. And there it was, the knock. Once, twice, 7 times in total. Not at the door, behind the bathroom mirror. I stared at the reflection. Nothing moved. Then, slowly, a hand pressed against the glass from the other side. It was Daniel's hand. I knew that scar across his knuckle. I recognized the shape of his fingers. But his face was wrong. It wasn't faceless this time. It had a face. Mine. His mouth moved in the mirror, but I didn't hear words. Just a low, garbled whisper, like a recording being played backward. I backed away, heart racing. The mirror cracked, then shattered, and Daniel, or whatever was wearing his skin, stepped through. I screamed, ran for the door, yanked the chair away, and flung it open. The hallway was gone. In its place was darkness. Not empty air, not even shadow, just nothing. I turned back. The room behind me was gone too. I was standing in a black void, and in front of me, standing in a circle of dim light, were all of them. Daniel, the woman from a hallway, the faceless creature. Others I didn't recognize. Dozens of them, eyes gone, skin pale, mouths open but silent. They pointed at me, and then I heard it, the last knock, louder than any before. It echoed through the blackness, and I felt it, something pulling me backward, like gravity, but stronger, like hands were dragging me by my spine. I screamed, kicked, tried to fight it, and Daniel stepped forward. He whispered something I couldn't make out. Then he said it again, louder this time. Let it in. I was falling, or floating, or sinking. I couldn't tell anymore. All I know is I woke up in my apartment, back on my bed, lights on, birds chirping outside. The wall crack was gone. No signs of anything ever happening. I thought it was over until I turned on the TV. The news was showing footage of a missing man, last seen at a motel off Highway 33. His name was Christopher Miles. My name. The face on the screen was mine, but the man talking wasn't me. His voice was deeper, slower, and as he spoke, he smiled, a wide, unnatural smile. He looked into the camera and said, "I'm home now." I backed away from the screen. Every mirror in my apartment shattered at once, and from behind me, I heard one last whisper, "You let it in,